I have actually cracked open.
Are you?
Can you read it? I have a. I felt like I ate yours. Well.
Buenas. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I especially want to thank the Chief of Police, Mr. Joseph I. Cruz, Ms. Doris Aguero, Chief of the Port Authority of Guam, who is represented today by Chief Roberto, to Mr. Robert D. Camacho, Chief of the Antonio B. Wampat International Airport Authority Police. Thank you all for being here, and thank you to my colleagues, Senator Jolson Augustine, Senator Regine Bisco Lee, and Senator Will Castro for being here this morning as we present this resolution that was authored by Senator Telina Cruz Nelson. Resolution number 415-34 is relative to recognizing, commending, and honoring the men and women of the Guam Police Department, the Jose D. Leon Guerrero Commercial Port Authority Police, the Antonio B. Wampat International Airport Authority Police, and other local and federal law enforcement officers for their commitment to safeguarding our island, and to further paying tribute to them on the celebration and observance of 2018 National Police Week. Whereas President John F. Kennedy proclaimed May 15 as National Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the calendar week in which May 15 falls as National Police Week. And whereas National Police Week pays special recognition to those law enforcement officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty for the safety and protection of others. Guam and the nation observe Peace Officers Memorial Day on Tuesday, May 15, 2018, in honor of law enforcement officers who, through their courageous deeds, have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to their community, or have become disabled in the performance of duty. And it is fitting and appropriate to recognize and pay respect to the survivors of our fallen heroes. And the police and law enforcement actually had a very beautiful ceremony earlier this week, and I want to thank them for all their efforts annually in that regard. Guam pays tribute to Conservation Officer Francisco M. Isizaki, Department of Agriculture. Police Officer 1 Juan M. Santos, Guam Police Department. Special Agent Larry D. Wallace, Drug Enforcement Administration. Police Officer 1 Francisco A. Regis, Guam Police Department. Civilian Volunteer Police Reserve Helen K. Lizama, Guam Police Department. Police Officer 3 Tomas M. Sablan, Guam Police Department. Civilian Volunteer Police Reserve Rudy C. Iglesias, Guam Police Department. Police Sergeant 1 Siegfried D. R. Mortera, Guam Police Department. Police Officer 1 Raymond S. Sanchez, Guam Police Department. Police Officer 1 Manuel A. Aquino, Guam Police Department. Police Captain Francisco C. Tovis, Guam Police Department. Corrections Officer 1 Douglas W. Mashburn, Department of Corrections. Airman Lori Lucas, United States Air Force. Sergeant Stacy E. Levay, United States Air Force. Police Officer 1 Eddie A. Santos, Guam Police Department. Police Officer 1 Francisco D. Taitagui, Guam Police Department, and Sergeant Frankie E. Smith, Guam Police Department.
Whereas the uniformed personnel of the Guam Police Department, the Jose D. Leon Guerrero Commercial Port Authority Police, the Antonio B. Wampat International Airport Authority Police, and other federal and local law enforcement agencies play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and the freedom of the community of Guam. And whereas it's important that all citizens know and understand the duties, responsibilities, and hazards of Guam's law enforcement officers, and that the officers of Guam's law enforcement departments and agencies recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, protecting them against violence and disorder, and protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression. And whereas every single day, Guam's law enforcement officers face the threat of violence and danger, they routinely put their lives on the line to defend ours, and the price of that bravery may result in injury, disability, or even death. And whereas Imina 34 na las Return Guahan would also like to sincerely express its deepest gratitude to the family members of all our law enforcement officers for their indirect service to the island of Guam in providing the necessary support and encouragement to these women and men in uniform who serve and protect our island and her people.
Whereas the people of Guam and the nation observes and commemorates this occasion to honor all our law enforcement officers, past and present, who by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities have rendered a dedicated service to their communities, and in so doing have established for themselves an inviolable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and security of all citizens. Now therefore be it resolved that the Committee on Rules of Imina 34 na Legislatura en Guam do hereby on behalf of Legislatura en Guam and the people of Guam recognize and commend and honor the men and women of the Guam Police Department, the Jose D. Leon Commercial Port Authority Police, the Antonio B. Wanpat International Airport Authority Police, and other local and federal law enforcement officers for their commitment to safeguarding our island, and does further pay tribute to them on the celebration and observance of 2018 National Police Week, and be it further
resolved that the Speaker and the Chairperson of the Committee on Rules of Imina 34 na Legislatura en Guam certify to, and the Legislative Secretary attest to the adoption hereof, and that copies of the same be thereafter transmitted to Mr. Joseph I. Cruz, Chief of Police, Guam Police Department, to Ms. Doris Aguero, Chief, Port Authority of Guam Police, to Mr. Robert D. Camacho, Chief, Antonio B. Wampat International Airport Authority Police, and to the Honorable Edward J. B. Calvo, Imagalahin, Guahan. My colleagues would help me. To the Chief of the Guam International Airport Authority Police. Port Authority Police. The Chief, Guam Police Department, Chief Joe I. Cruz. Thank you all for your service. Thank all of you for your service, every one of you. And we are grateful every year that we do not lose someone in the line of duty. And so thank you for all taking care of each other and taking care of us. I would like to ask the Chief of Police. I understand that we have certain officers of the year that have been recognized, and I would like him to state those for the record so that the people of Guam can also celebrate in that.
First off, I want to thank the 34th Guam Legislature. Madam Vice Speaker, thank you very much for putting forth or proffering this resolution. I want to thank the senators that are here this morning. Thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule. Thank you to our Oversight Chair, Senator Talina Nelson, for authoring this resolution to recognize the men and women in law enforcement, especially during this week, Guam Police Week, and we recognize our brethren at the Port Authority Police and the Airport Authority Police. So I want to thank everybody for that. I'd also like to mention that every year for Police Week, we do recognize those who have gone above and beyond the call of duty, who have displayed exemplary service in their line of duty. And for 2018, our Police Officer of the Year is Police Officer 2 Keon C. Pangilinan. Yes. Our Civilian Volunteer Police Reserve Officer of the Year is CVPR Rochella C. Perez. Our Supervisor of the Year is Police Officer 3 John Taikenko. And he was gracious enough to join us this morning. Our Manager of the Year is Captain Stephen Amaguin. And last but certainly not the least, the unit that received the unit citation of excellence is our Auxiliary Services Division. So all in all, we recognize 212 of our officers who really did a lot of hard work over the past year. And I just want to say thank you very much to the men and women of the Guam Police Department, both uniform and civilian. Thank you to our partners from the Port Authority and the airport for helping us out, especially over the last several months. And thank you to all the stakeholders, in particular the 34th Guam Legislature. Thank you, and Sejus Masi.
Thank you very much. If we could get the recipients in the middle, we will have one more photo. Thank you. Sejus Masi.